miss. I call the shots, I never call it quits. Trust my intuition, bet it's right and bitch, it often is. Seen too many others come and go, they had the wrong intent. Do it out of love and never for it, then I watch it get bigger than expected. No second guess it, I let it set in. It's God's plan, we out here only accepting blessings. I'm stuck with it, this mindset is terminal. In and out different terminals, leveling up is personal. And I already made it, y'all can miss me. It's hard to believe I made something from nothing. No hindsight discussions, I've been writing, I love it.
Welcome to the 3 Gig Sports Podcast, where we are never wrong, just sometimes misinformed. This is Danny G sitting alongside Rio and Jimmer today, and holy shit, we have some intense news to talk through tonight.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of kind of weird shit in the NFL. One pretty big thing where a former coach may not have the opportunity to coach again because of what's going on.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty big deal. I do want to say thanks once again to Malachi and the fam, Candace and Caleb, for coming out on Sunday. That was a good time. We had a little bit of mic issues about 20 minutes in that we had to work through. So if you listen to that episode, we appreciate you. We had some kind of funky stuff going on. But it was a good time. The kid's going to be a baller. We'll finally be able to go see him here, hopefully in a couple weeks, as they tear shit up. But tonight, as we kick her off, what's going on out there, Jimmer?
So first off, I do want to say a big shout out to my father-in-law, who's been doing some work behind the scenes for us, Mr. Tony Green, big old NASCAR guy. I don't know why. God bless you.
But making a left turn.
But appreciate him, all the stuff behind the scenes. He's a big supporter of what we're doing, and every time I turn around, I find out that he's talking to somebody else. And so I give a big shout out to him and his brother too. So, but
not to dog on NASCAR, because it's just not the super, like on TV, it's not the funnest thing to watch. Being there in person would probably be great.
Oh yeah, it'd be killer, I'm sure.
And I don't know if I could be a driver, man. That shit's intense.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen what they go through?
Oh,
man?
yeah.
Dude, I felt like it when I drove through Utah, brother. Oh, my arms were tired. I don't know how these guys did it for so long. And I was going, you know what I mean? They're going like 200-something miles an hour. I'm going 65 on a highway, and it is literally, I'm not even kidding, back and forth. And it's almost like timed, same amount of distance between this. Hard turns. So shout out to them, I guess. But
yeah,
like,
shout out to Tony, too.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
Absolutely. Yeah. Brian Flores has sued the NFL and 3 teams, the Dolphins, Broncos, and Giants, alleging racial discrimination regarding his interview processes with Denver and New York and his firing last month by Miami. Now, this ties into the second story that I got. But evidently, if you want to talk about the part of this, just this directly, was he evidently got a text message from Mr. Bill Belichick.
I saw that.
I don't know. Sounds a little weird, fishy. I have no idea. But congratulating him on being the Giants' next head coach.
3 days before his scheduled interview with them.
Yes. And evidently, he texted the wrong Brian because he was trying to congratulate Brian Dabble from the Buffalo Bills and congratulating him on the Giants job, which he ultimately ended up getting.
Weird.
Weird.
And then it says, I guess the text said something like, fuck, my bad. Sorry about that. Or something like, it was just a weird little text thing. But
I saw that very weird conversation and how that went down. And Bill Belichick's future, you know.
Yeah. He's
seeing the future or what the hell?
I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Evidently, he was informed by the Bills and by the Giants, saying that they were going to pick Brian Dabble.
Why the hell would they tell him?
Why would they tell Bill Belichick? You know, didn't he spurn the Giants at one point too?
I don't know. You know, you never know. Maybe he was drinking with them boys, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna hire this boy." Who knows?
I'm sure he's talking to the coaches on the Bills or something like that. Like, oh man, we're gonna lose Dabble here. It was confirmed he's gonna get this job. Could be. I don't know what he would know with the Giants, but
yeah, it's got to be something like that, right?
Yeah. Either that or Belichick's
you know,
messing
actually,
around.
He might keep tabs on the Giants after they beat that ass in the Super Bowl a couple times.
Right, Spygate.
Yeah.
We have goddamn recording gate going on. He heard it on the wiretap. Yeah, that's how. So this ties into one hell of a messed up story. And after I tell you this one, I got to tell you kind of a funny story that happened today at work before I knew about this stuff, okay? Paid to tank. Brian Flores said owner Stephen Ross explicitly offered him $100,000 for each loss the team suffered in 2019 in an attempt to get a better NFL draft pick. Former Browns coach Hugh Jackson and the head of his foundation accused the Browns of paying Jackson to lose games during the 2016 and 17 seasons. Hugh also says he has proof of this and that the NFL commission knew and helped cover it up.
Talk about never wanting to coach in the NFL again. I mean, that's big shots, and it's only been proven that you're not going to win these. Like, I get why they're doing it, coming out.
Well, depending on what Hugh Jackson has, if he really does have some
evidence. If the commissioner helped cover it up, you think you're battling the commissioner and winning that battle?
If you got proof, like I'm saying, it's got to be pretty rock solid.
Yeah, it's got to be 100%.
And the NFL better be able to explain a $70,000 or whatever Hugh Jackson's was deposit on the weeks that they lost.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. They sure closed up those emails pretty quick, right? After Gruden had to bail.
Right.
I'm sure there's something in there.
Maybe there is.
Oh, yeah.
And there's if there's one team, also this is going bigger, but if there's one team, there's more than one team, right? Involved in different things like this. So
I think you can point out the teams that don't, right? Like, not trying to beat our chest, but the Vikings are hopelessly thinking they have a shot every year. When was the last time you seen them even rebuild? They always think they got a shot. So, I mean, I don't think every team's doing it, but I believe that this is definitely something.
Yeah. And
once he said, evidently, Flores said he wasn't going to do that. Obviously didn't. They went 10-6 that were, what was it, 10-7 that one year? 10-6, sorry. 10-6, and then this last year they went 9-8, so.
Oh, that year, no, they were worse because that's the year they got Tua.
Oh, yeah, so they were up there.
So it was like 4 wins, 5 wins that year. I think after that.
20 maybe, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's the year they got Tua. But it wasn't because he was trying to lose, apparently, he says, right? He said it's that 100K is not what he's in for. So.
Oh, he was there. Yep. Yeah, but either way.
Yeah, but hold on. So, but now because you didn't get a job, but you took the money, I'm guessing, now you're going to call foul? Because you're out of job?
So there's more in depth to this. So there's more shady shit.
What else?
Absolutely.
Keep going.
There's tons of shady stuff.
So about this in particular, Stephen Ross evidently asked Flores to have some of his influence to try to draw a star quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He said no, he wouldn't do that because it's tampering too, and that goes on you, not the owner. Now, Ross invited Flores onto his yacht for a lunch that they were, and once he got on board, he found out that he didn't say the name, a star quarterback was coming to join them for lunch.
We know who it was, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll say it here in a second, but then he's like, I'm not going to be a part of this, and left the boat.
Yeah.
And after that was when they hated him.
And like, so evidently that's where they like shunned him, like in the building.
Yep.
So, like we were saying before, we felt like there was more, or at least me and Danny did. We believed that there was more to just him having a thing with the young players. Like, you don't keep the control of the veterans and the players around you to reel off that many wins, even against shitty teams, because they were.
Yep.
And you don't go 10-6 the year before that, but year before this year, go 10-6 with a piss poor beatdown. You've seen what happened this year when Zimmer was beating down the younger ones. I mean, they basically all but fell apart. Kirk Cousins in that offense kept them alive, right?
Right.
So that particular quarterback was none other than you.
Deshaun Watson, for sure, right?
That had to have been, right?
There
had to have been a masseuse on board, too.
Oh, yeah. You know it.
I'm not trying to make light of the situation. That is disgusting.
You just visit our masseuse with wandering fingers, and she'll take
She passes no judgment. In fact, she asked to be on board. Oh my God. Yeah. But there's that motherfucker. But that being said, this has it written all over it, and I didn't even think about the emails. I guarantee there's something in there. Why? Because we've all me, you, and Danny have been beating up on this.
Oh, yeah.
You do not have 2,700 emails and not have some other shit in there. There's no possible way.
Oh, yeah.
This might have been the shit that they were trying to possibly cover up. Stuff like that.
Hey, if anything positive comes out of this, that shit comes to light, right?
Yeah.
Bring the emails out, and then,
Yeah.
maybe Goodell has to resign
Oh, yeah.
instead of getting fired, right? Because if they get opened up, he's probably going to step down the next day before anybody talks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm out.
There's no, how do you defend that at that point, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have concrete evidence, especially, with if he helped cover it up,
Yeah.
the tanking and stuff like that.
Now I don't know, and I don't know. I'm not trying to defend or go anything with or against Brian Flores on this on the racial part. So what we know, one of the teams was the Broncos. Do we forget Vance Joseph was the head coach not that long ago? I do believe at least 4 seasons ago he was. So he was the head coach there for 2 seasons, and Vic Fangio was there for 3 seasons. I'm not quite sold on that unless there was something, I don't know. Maybe I'm wondering if he just piled them in because he didn't get those jobs and then he got that text type of thing. That's what I'm getting at. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying there isn't shit out there in general. But my funny kind of story about this is we were talking a little bit today at first break. And I was saying, I just don't understand. I'm like, because someone is defending Bieniemy. They don't understand why he doesn't have a job. I'm like, he could just literally be a bad interviewer. He really could be.
Unfortunately, that's a big part of it.
Yeah, and it is. You have to sell them on being the head coach of the whole team, not your offensive structure, your defense, who you plan on bringing in, what your game plan is, what your blueprint is of your team. You need to be able to do that, explain it, and explain it, efficiently and fluently.
So just come across Rams offensive coordinator Kevin O'Connell, favorite for Vikings head coaching spot.
Yeah, that's who's left, I think. So
Nah, it was him and
the San Fran guy said he's staying. So
I know. I seen that one.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
They did interview another guy, the Giants defensive coordinator twice too, just now. That was the other one today.
Okay.
I'm not saying that. It probably will be Kevin O'Connell because I think it was legitimately, before the Jim Harbaugh stuff, it was legitimately between Kevin O'Connell and then defensive coordinator for the Niners, who pulled himself from the second. Like, he's like, I don't want a second, decline the second interview.
Yep.
So back to that. We were having a discussion, and I was like, I'm going to tell you now. I'm going to give you the real reason. There's only one that we could possibly think of. Somebody can correct me. Someone can say I'm misinformed. But there's only one offensive coordinator that had came from Mr. Andy Reid and had a successful, at least a very short-term version of it, successful reign as a head coach, and that was Mr. Dougie P. Mm-hmm. Every other one has not panned out. You could name every offensive coordinator. Matt Nagy, if you want to say one season, but that was with Vic Fangio running that defense, and they were running like an all-time great defense. I mean, that's definitely today's era defense, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And then go ahead and name any other offensive coordinator after that has had a head coaching opportunity. They don't pan out very well. They just don't. Because he's the one that calls the plays, guys. Like, at the end of the day, he is still the one that calls the plays.
Yeah. Right.
So they're not used to running them. They may be part of helping put a game plan together, chip in here and there, but the guy calling the plays and making the decisions is Andy Reid, so that they don't pan out. I'm sorry for Eric Bieniemy. If you want a legit shot and then like get 100% backed, go somewhere else to be the offensive coordinator then, where you're calling the plays. Try that first to like improve that you can do that without him, because there's no proof that he calls plays. It's zero.
Right.
So if you're not even the dude calling the plays there, and you have Patrick Mahomes, I think there's more that goes into it. Is my point. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
old boy from and I'm DeMeco Ryans. There you go, DeMeco Ryans. You know he was calling the defensive game plan. Mm-hmm. I would have loved to have DeMeco Ryans. I told you that. Yeah. I said DeMeco, Jared Mayo, Gerard Mayo. I guess I never said Kevin O'Connell, but whatever. He's gonna get that. He's gonna get that high praise because the two teams in the Super Bowl. Zach Taylor was the offensive coordinator for the Rams at one point when they went to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
The first time.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're trying to pluck from that tree too. You know, I get why So that I was just telling you like a funny, but then he points out the funny part about this is he's like, because I was like, I genuinely think that most owners, high majority, they make their picks. They want to win. They don't give a shit about anything else. They just want to win. So they're picking the best person to do that, who they believe is going to do it. That's when this story I came across. He's like, you mean except for Brian Flores? And I did not know about this pay for loss thing. So it kind of puts a little nail in what I was saying, right? Every owner just wants to win, right? But I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny.
So what year was that they were saying to pay for losing?
2019, his year. And then 16 and 17 for Hugh Jackson.
Who was the quarterbacks coming out that time? The next year?
It was Justin Herbert and Tua.
Okay.
They had another one coming out, too. Who's that one?
So maybe they like somebody else, one of the other quarterbacks then.
Who? No. This was the year before they got drafted.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They wanted to pay because maybe they really liked Herbert or Joe Burrow or one of them other quarterbacks and not Tua, right?
No, they took him first. They took Tua before Herbert. Herbert was still on the board.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The Chargers had Herbert fall to them the very next pick.
Yeah.
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 I was just wondering. I'm like,
So
well, how the draft picks line up? Then?
I'm not sold or against Tua yet. We'll see. I think he needs a fair shake first off before we have that. You got him a weapon. Maybe add another one. We'll see what happens. Right. Herbert's just balled out. Granted, he's had offensive weapons too. Correct.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So.
Well, so just to stay on this for a couple more minutes, right? So Denver, I guess let's take the race issue aside. Yep. He's had a bad shake at least twice now, right? Denver and the Giants. And I don't know as much about Denver. His story, if it's true, is that they all arrived an hour late to his interview, and they were all super disheveled. They were like obviously hungover.
Which one was that?
Denver.
Okay.
Yeah. So Elway and all those guys came in late. They looked all messy. They obviously were drinking the night before. They didn't care.
Is that because of celebration knowing the team was about to get sold?
Maybe.
Okay.
Well, this was in what year was that? 17, 18? Whatever year he interviewed.
No, this
for.
year.
When did he interview
Brian
for
Flores?
Yeah.
This year.
Oh, I'm going back to. Okay, I guess I'm thinking of the wrong year then. Okay, what do you say?
Or was that? Or is he talking about a past interview?
I thought that was because whenever Vic Fangio got hired, it was that year.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was. So you're right. That was 3 years. So Vic Fangio was there for 3 seasons.
So 18-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
I honestly thought he meant like he interviewed for it this year.
No.
Okay.
So that was back then, and then the Giants one. Obviously, there's something sketchy going on there, right?
Oh yeah.
They hired him.
They did it by the Rooney Rule, is what that was.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason.
Right.
That's that one. I'm not saying I disagree with. I didn't know about the drunkenness about the Broncos.
Right.
Yeah. No,
but Vance Joseph was the guy that was literally being taken over for. Vic Fangio was taken over for in that one. That's what I was getting at.
Yep. No, I get that for sure.
So.
Yeah. So maybe there was some logic to it.
But I don't. But I don't know that either because I think he's one hell of a coach. And I mean, you were defending this. I'm like, this wouldn't hurt my feelings if Bryant. He just put his nail in his coffin, but I don't even think he got an interview with Minnesota.
No, he didn't.
That would not have hurt my feelings to bring him up.
There's
here.
a lot of
teams
he didn't get an interview with. Yeah.
Right, and I really think that I believed 100% that was Miami. I didn't think that it was really actually him. I believe this story. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. So
if I'm banking something right now, that's
I'm not. I believe the story too.
Yeah.
And
you're saying it's hard to prove.
You're going to have to need concrete evidence because it's all about the rich protecting the rich and the guys
you're gonna
in
need
those high positions.
You're going to need Hugh Jackson, whatever he's got for sure.
You're going to need every bit of that.
Right. Plus.
Absolutely.
Because think about it, right? So if we pull the race card back into it, which maybe that's a factor, maybe it's not. With some teams, probably is, right?
Which it shouldn't, but yes.
But yeah.
Those are the pieces that shouldn't own a team anymore.
If we want to think numbers, how many black coaches are in the NFL?
We know Mike Tomlin.
Head coaches. That's the only one.
Is that the only one left?
Yeah.
Okay. Robert Saleh is what? I know he's not black. He's not Islam, but he's something like that.
Yeah, but so...
No, I get what you're saying. I'm not trying to say any which way, but I get that. Yep.
Yeah, so like to your original point, most owners are just trying to win.
Yes.
But then when you go to these dysfunctional areas like the Giants, like the Jaguars, like things, even Miami apparently, right?
Yeah.
That's not their main goal. So how much of race does come into play?
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So I'll be very curious how this comes out and what information actually comes out. But I think that there is a very good shot that if stuff comes out that does damage Goodell, because he said Goodell was involved in that, right?
Yep.
With the 100K thing, he's going to step
Hugh
down.
Jackson. No, Hugh Jackson said that. Hugh Jackson said that the commission knew about it and covered it up.
Oh, so Hugh said that.
Hugh said that.
Okay,
Yep.
Hugh
And he said
that.
he has evidence of this.
Right. So if that comes out, he's
Yeah.
going to step down.
Yep.
He's going to have to.
As well, he should.
That might be the best thing that's happened in the NFL in
Actually,
a long time.
if all these owners wanted to help,
Get him out. This would be the thing to jump on.
This would be the thing. If they want to show that they're not, and they're like, hey, we didn't know about that. There may be some. We know there's plenty of shady shit in the NFL, right? We know that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But if you want to show that 90% of the teams are not racist, the owners or whatever, this is where you're like, fuck no, you're out.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, like where
100%.
you're fired. You're not stepping down. You're getting fired.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But I'm sure they all have dirty laundry though. That on some form or facet. It doesn't have to be necessarily race or anything.
Yeah, there's probably,
like I said, I'm a hopeful, optimistic. I believe that that a high majority of teams want to hire the best man or best person, not just
Right.
man, available to do the job.
And you do want to win because it puts people in the stands. It generates revenue.
If
for the most part,
they would have fired Mike Tomlin after this year, because even though he's had nothing but winning seasons, you're gonna sit there and tell me that, fuck, I wouldn't be shocked if all 32 teams just made a phone call.
Yeah.
You want to win, and he's a winner, so there's no way that man would be jobless for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I'm getting at when it comes to that. Maybe those certain teams want to call, then you'd have okay, you just singled yourself out here,
Yeah.
right? Legitimate conversations is what needs that. But we're talking about Mike Tomlin, and he's a legend. He's a future Hall of Famer, first ballot.
Damn right he is, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would like to, like I said, Brian Flores was on the right track too. So he got shortchanged. He got fucked.
But let's be real. I think of him a ton different than what I think of what Kaepernick tried to do. Okay? I think a lot of what Kaepernick did was selfish and to get some spotlight. That's
Yes.
my opinion.
He was
Think
playing
what you want,
bad.
right?
The thing about Kaepernick, he was playing bad football.
Exactly.
You were offered a contract as well later on, and you declined it. But
Because it
dude,
wasn't starting.
it wasn't starting. Dude, you are not starting. And if you look at his numbers, right, he had that one good season, and then he just regressed
That's
as
it,
a quarterback.
yeah.
Dude, you're not being.
A lot of people forget about that.
People
too.
forget,
They
yeah.
forget about what just before he did the. First off, he didn't just kneel. He sat. He didn't even know what he wanted. If you go back to what he later came out and said what it was, he didn't know what he wanted when they were interviewing him, like why he was sitting.
Right.
Yeah.
He really didn't. Go back to that, people. Just go back and watch and listen. Listen to what it was. What a lot of people forget is he lost the starting job because he had a dead arm. They said he had a dead arm in camp. He could not throw the rock. His last statistical year
Horrible.
was
Just
horrible. He had a million yards, but wasn't that Chip Kelly's offense where you're throwing it and you're going a million miles
Right.
a second? So if you bring it up, I think we looked this up once, Chris, right? It was like 56% completion percentage or
I'll
some
pull
shit.
it up right now.
It was not
It was-
good. He
it was bad.
wasn't a good starting quarterback. Could he back up somebody? I agree with you.
Yeah,
1,000%.
he could have been a
He
backup.
could have been a backup in the NFL.
And he could have chose to.
And he could have chose to. A lot of people forget that he turned down a couple of
Yeah.
them. He
So
turned
he's-
down with the Seahawks, I do believe, was one.
Started 11 games in 2016. 59% completion percentage, 2,200 yards, 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Yeah,
What was his completion percentage?
59.
Yeah,
Yeah.
59.
So sub 60.
Yep.
He had a dead arm. And the reason why you had the other juiced up stats, you were going one play every 20-something seconds. You were
Yep.
running up to the line.
Fast all the time, yeah.
So
The reason I compare the two, though, is that was the first, like, major racial discussion.
bring it to spotlight.
Yeah,
Yep.
you brought it to spotlight in the
Yep.
NFL. This one I think is a lot more legitimate just because Brian Flores is literally – it's not like he's been a head coach forever. He hasn't been very long at all, right? He's risking everything.
Yeah, everything. And
Because
it will, I think.
He's got fucked over, whether it's to do with race or not. He's gotten fucked over, and it, I think some things need to come out about it. So
I look back at that draft and where Miami, they say, they're wanting to tank. That must have meant they were in love with Joe Burrow or Chase Young, ultimately. I think that's what it has to mean. Because Joe Burrow went one and Chase Young too. I mean, you're looking for a quarterback, Joe Burrow. or you'd have gone Chase Young maybe if you were at 2, right?
Chase Young is one hell of a special talent.
Yeah.
Too.
And they had nobody on the line at that point. They needed a rusher.
The interesting thing, we think it's Deshaun Watson that went, on the boat,
On the
right?
boat, yeah.
Didn't he say part of the reason he liked Miami was because of Flores?
Flores,
So
yeah.
I wonder if Flores is kind of fucking himself here. I wonder if he went on the boat, the yacht. Because apparently Watson was a big fan of his.
he did.
At first.
But then he left, you
and then
said.
he left before Deshaun got there.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
Stephen Ross told him, we have so-and-so coming on board to join us for lunch. And he knew, he's like, no, I want no part of this, is
And
what
he
he's
bounced.
claiming. Huh?
And then he
Yeah,
was
and then he
like, I'm out.
bounced.
That's what he says, right?
He seems like a pretty straight-up guy, though. I mean, I could be 100% wrong. We'll see, but
just curious because
Yep.
apparently that's part of the reason Watson
he's been sticking with,
Miami.
like, he has a very hit and miss relationship with Tua. I understand that. The year before, he kept putting in Fitzpatrick, right? Anytime Tua was showing a little bit of struggle, he'd throw him in. I get that. I don't think it happens enough. What's the difference between a quarterback? Like, if your corner is giving up like touchdowns and shit like that and getting busted coverage, what do you do with him, Chris? If you have another corner that you think that could do something decent?
I think with the quarterback position, if you know he's your future, you throw him and you play him through.
I agree with you. I'm just saying. I'm saying in general, generally speaking, I don't think
Yeah.
it happens enough. Like, pull him out, hey kid, maybe, or
Especially
bro.
when they're young, right?
Yeah, like, this isn't it. I'm not trying to ruin your confidence. I'm trying to keep your confidence up. Actually, I'm not trying to have you go out there and kill yourself. And it's just not going. Today's not your game. It's like pulling your pitcher. Your ace pitcher may be young and he has one hell of a dinger. You're yanking him out. Like, hold on, we're saving you up. And try to have that. Maybe he didn't know how to explain that. But he backed Tua. He told Tua. Tua came and said
did?
that.
Yeah.
Tua's like, no, he told me himself, I am his guy. We're not going for Deshaun.
Yep.
And that could be part of the problem, too. He's tried to tell Stephen Ross, this is my guy. Yeah, this is what I'm going to ride with.
Fair
And
point.
I'm not
Right.
going to sit
Yeah,
here and
good.
I'm not going to do the shady shit, where I'm tampering.
Yeah, I get it. So what else we got going on out there, man?
After 87 years with its former name of the Redskins and 2 years as the Washington football team, the franchise announced Wednesday morning that its new name would be the Washington Commanders.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Horrible. This is fucking
name.
horrible.
Horrible.
Absolutely. I don't even.
Like,
know.
so I've seen so many funny tweets or whatever, so many funny memes.
Yeah.
One that isn't quite as funny. All it was is like a true fan of the Washington football team that said, "What the hell am I supposed to do with that? Go Commanders, go Commandos, go Camos." He's like, "What the hell were we supposed to do with that? That is horrible."
Very
That's
bad.
not to mention the other ones we've seen.
It's terrible.
What was the one that you said?
Yeah, the one that I saw came through and it said that this isn't an NFL name. This is like an arena football name.
Yeah.
Put in the NFL.
Perfect.
It is. Yeah.
They
it's
should have
not-
just went with the Washington Sentinels then. Keanu Reeves could have been the goddamn mascot.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do that,
Not a good pick, but
that is a horrible pick. That literally one of like their final 6. You remember seeing that a while back? Their final 6 wasn't that good.
No.
yeah.
Red Wolves probably was my favorite, if you want to call it that.
Right. Wasn't there a guy buying all the rights to the names and stuff?
just buying all of them, just waiting. They call
Oh,
them.
yeah.
They call them name squatters.
Yeah.
And I actually like the Red Tails, which
Yeah.
touches
deal with
on the African American
World War II history.
World War II history, the fighter pilots.
Yep.
And then you get to keep the red or whatever and the whole works. And I kind of like that one. But of the list they had, the finalist list, it should have been Red Wolves, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. Commanders
Yeah.
is just awful. I'm not a fan.
They might as well just left it as the Washington football team. They're starting to grow on me anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird thing to touch on, because everybody's so offended over the Redskins, and I don't know. It's like you have a professional football team that is named after,
A fucked up situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. In our country. Yeah.
I get it, but
I was going to bring up those. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it again. By the way, I don't know if you guys did see that Flores was on Get Up this morning. on ESPN.
Oh, yeah, I
and
did.
discussed
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, he's shooting a shot. That is for sure.
Oh, okay. So I did find it. That didn't take too long. So the list was, is widely known that others under consideration, because they did this, where the hell is it? They were running like this little show behind the scenes or something like that, and it got released to like a certain amount of fans so they could kind of vote on it, you know? So the finalist list of names was under consideration were Presidents, Brigade, Red Hogs, which, okay, I could see that one, I guess, but whatever. Football team, which they already had. Armada, Defenders, and Red Wolves. These are the names that are. This just dawned on me.
Have you ever played Create, a franchise on Madden?
And thank you. That's
Yes.
where I was going.
I was going to say, this is the shit they bring up
That
for
is
you.
exactly it. Especially when you see Commanders and Defenders and
Yeah.
Red Hogs. And this is it.
Fucking kidding me?
You're
Are we-
right.
are we fucking
That's
12?
I was like, it just dawned on me. I'm like, this is exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So are those the names besides Commanders?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, you didn't say
Oh, so
Commanders.
it was on during the episode 3 of Making the Brand. They showed several fans these names and multiple logos, including 3 that look like a wolf.
And that's what they come up
And
with.
that's what they came
Shitty
up with.
fans. Okay? You're shitty fans.
Commanders.
You kidding me?
Evidently, that shitty-ass owner, Dan Schneider. Let's talk about shitty-ass owners.
Bad move again.
Yes,
Yeah.
and he was heavy into this one, I guess.
If I'm
what I
waltzing
was
out there,
reading.
I'm dropping moose knucklers.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Let me have a right in here, okay?
Right.
I'm gonna give you
Like,
this.
why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah, but you got to pay me for it because it is we own the rights
Yeah,
to the
it's,
team.
it's locally trademarked for sure. How did that get through recreational softball? Let's talk
I
about
don't
that.
know. For reference, people, we played in this rec league, semi-fast pitch softball league, right? And we're like the worst teams there, but we dropped the name Moose Knucklers out as our team name, and they just like let it go and plastered it up on the schedule. They didn't give a shit. Just like, all right.
I don't think they knew what a moose knuckle was.
Yeah.
We got him. Yeah, that was good.
That was hilarious.
So we're shit because we had a backup name just in case they said,
Yeah.
come on now. No, there was no.
No, they didn't know stopping.
Appreciate
They
it.
didn't care.
The Denver Broncos are officially up for sale and will likely have the biggest price tag in North American sports history. Steve Cohen paid $2.4 billion in 2020 for the New York Mets, the highest price paid for a North American sports franchise. The last NFL franchise to be sold was the Carolina Panthers, who were purchased in 2018 by David Tepper for $2.275 billion. And this is supposed to break both of those.
Yeah, that is a lot of coinage. Can we pony that up, boys?
Let's see if we can get a loan.
Yeah,
Let's
go get us
see.
a loan.
We'll go. We'll go talk to Elon or something. Be like, hey, can you give
What's
us
up?
some of that?
We'll give you
Dogecoin or
free
something?
tickets. Free
Yeah.
tickets.
Free tickets for life.
For life.
You and the family.
Yep.
Yeah. And we're in a mountain, so we can set up one of your rockets over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it'll be fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
The amount of change it would take. Who do you think? So I heard rumors that Peyton Manning would be joining in on
It's a group. For
ownership.
Sure.
Oh yeah, when you're talking that big, you're
Yeah.
talking.
it's
ownership
got to be a group.
Yep.
Yeah.
That big a group, but yeah, I seen that. But then now they're going through this with I don't know how that's going to play. Yes, they're new owners. I get it, and they would have no quote unquote ties unless it's some of these other executives that are in there that would try too. But now they're going through these allegations too with Brian Flores. I don't know if that'll affect the balance of it or not.
Maybe.
But
I mean, it'd affect your negotiations, right? Hey, listen, I don't know what's going to happen. Let's
Yeah.
go to a flat 2.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
$2 billion. Okay. Gotcha.
Chump change.
Chump change. Cincinnati Public Schools announced Monday that students and staff will have the day off February 14th, the day after the Bengals play the Rams in Super Bowl LVI.
It is going to be a baby boom in Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
Come
With
February 4th.
with Joe
Oh,
Pools.
Joe Burr just slinging that rock. You got Valentine's Day rolling all together. especially if they win. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
9 months later, what is that? Just there's gonna be tons of babies born.
Tons of babies named Joe for sure.
Yeah.
Even if there's girls, it'd be like Josephine or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
I am a little excited for this. I think this is what every fan. I'm just talking about Super Bowl in general, right? Isn't this kind of what every average fan if your team isn't in the Super Bowl fan wants?
Yes.
You want a team that you're tired of seeing Tom Brady. You're tired of seeing the Patriots. You're who's the other one I was thinking of? But you're tired of seeing these
Aaron Rodgers.
You
know, the Packers being drugged through the playoffs by Aaron Rodgers. You're tired of seeing that.
Yep. The same teams that are always there. This is what you want, right? Chiefs. They were tired of seeing that already. I mean, that really isn't that old of a thing, but they are tired of seeing it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're talking about his brother.
His brother, yeah.
Yes.
Like, thank you, Jesus. We don't have to hear from this guy for a while. But that being said, this is exactly what you wanted. Two teams that have a legit shot. Rams haven't won a Super Bowl in for Lord knows how long.
I honestly think a lot of people are rooting for Matt Stafford. Like, go get you one.
Yeah.
You know, finally, after being on the Detroit and, suffering with them all them years, not being surrounded by talent, and then go get you one.
What do you have? One or no playoff wins in his whole career there? One. He had 3 this year already.
Right.
Yep.
So I think that's a lot of people are rooting for Matt Stafford.
I think they are too.
Not in general, the Rams, but Matt Stafford, go get you a ring. And then, of course, the Bengals, it's, they were in their situation last year, and then coming in and winning that division, gutting it out through a tough division.
Small market, just couldn't get over the hump of even getting a playoff victory during those
you got
Marvin Lewis days.
Young coaching staff, young team in general, and awesome.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, we're about to cap off the best NFL regular season, as far as I'm concerned, and playoffs that we've ever been able to see.
Yeah, besides the first
playoffs.
round, man, the games have been amazing.
And the season, if we think about it, I'm with you.
It was so balanced.
It
man.
was. There was games that like bad NFL teams that won games that had no business winning games. The competitive balance is getting pretty damn close throughout. The NFC West was so damn close. If the Vikings didn't self-implode and whatever was going on there, that was closer than what we actually think. You know what I'm saying? At one point, when there were still like 4 games, when you go down to yours, there for a minute, the Redskins were giving a fucking run. There was actually they were within 1 game, right? At one point.
Yeah.
So every division was like kind of there. The AFC East was finally intriguing.
Listen, this year every game mattered more than any other year.
Yeah, and they even added a game.
Think about the Jaguars. They won 3 games, I think, this year, right? All 3 games that they won were critical. They beat the Colts. We know what happened there. Fuck the Colts out of the playoffs. They beat the Bills. If the Bills had won that game,
they would have been
in Buffalo
against
Kansas City.
Yep.
And they beat the Dolphins, I think was the other one, and that fucked them out of the playoffs.
Kept them out. Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Absolutely.
This whole season's been nuts. And, to your point, a lot of people are rooting for Matthew Stafford for the right reasons. But who's going to be mad if Joe Burrow wins the Super Bowl?
Nobody.
Right.
He acts like the everyday man. I'm falling in love with the dude as a fan. I am. Ripping cigars, has no cares what people are thinking.
Right.
He's
they asked him about his chain. He's like, are those fake diamonds? He's like, I make too much money. Wearing fake diamonds.
Just laid back, had no problem, kind of taking a little baby dig at the city. Remember that about Cincinnati? And he's like, we're not getting caught up in COVID because there's nothing to do in Cincinnati. There's no bars or anything.
Yep.
So just laid back. Seems like one of the guys. He rocks a T-shirt to the game of his wide receivers on it. The faces of his stud wide receivers.
Yeah.
How do you not play for a guy like that? Joe Mixon, who one hell of a player too. I think they need a better offensive line, and you'll see a way different Joe Mixon than what you already do see, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Has nothing but love for me. Have you heard the sound bites of like Joe Burrow and him? And he's like, just
it's awesome.
You remember him taking, what was that, Jamar Chase and him? They remember the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, what the hell? I'm becoming a Joe Burrow fan, so that would not hurt my feelings. The only thing that would hurt my feelings is, first off, our buddy, our friend of the show, Miles, would be on suicide watch and would be super sad.
Yep.
And then Matt Stafford. I do want him to win. I want him to win because he's done nothing but have to carry a franchise, a really, really, really bad franchise, his whole career. And he stayed loyal to them even through all that shit.
And even when they didn't surround him with talent.
Right.
Wouldn't.
Tried to stay loyal to them even when they weren't ready to stay loyal anymore. You know, up until the last possible minute. And it's like, all right, it ain't looking like Detroit wants anything to do with me anyway.
Yep.
You know, they're ready to move on. So.
Yeah, what did Joe Burrow say? They said fans are trying to claim him. Ohio State fans are trying to claim him. Say Ohio State quarterback's in the Super Bowl, and he's like, I went to LSU. I'm not sure why these Ohio State guys are trying to claim me.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it. Look at that guy's story. What is it, 2-3 years on the bench, transfers, and then stud. I know you weren't sold on him, and I kind of wasn't too. You know, one
LSU,
good year, right? You had
It
an offensive coordinator.
It was hard too. Yep. But those weapons,
all the weapons and everything. You know, he's setting records and then goes and he has an okay year and then tears his ACL, and it's like, okay, but he's really led this young team, and I like it rooting for him.
You're already thinking that he's at least in the league for about a 7-year vet. This is only his second year. You know what I'm saying? Like the feel of him feels like it's been like he's been here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't make
chill.
He doesn't make excuses. He just tells you what it is. He came out and said, Kansas City's noise does not bug me. I played in the SEC.
Yeah.
Which gets raucous, right?
Yeah.
Down in LSU, I would be, you are 100% correct. I would be shortchanging if I didn't say that I was skeptical of him coming out because of 1 year. You had all the talent in the world. We've seen what they've all turned into, right? I mean, they are studs. Yeah. They're wide receivers. I mean, they have them galore everywhere. Yep. In fact, I do believe they had Clyde Edwards-Helaire, too, as their running back.
Yeah, they did. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the reason why he even went into – he's probably the one borderline – I wouldn't say he's a bust, but borderline.
Right. Like he got that big – you had that Baker Mayfield vibe.
Yeah.
Right? But he's surrounded by talent, comes to the league, and it's just mediocre.
And I was like, well, you couldn't do this before. In the season before that, you were just adequate for LSU, so I wasn't sold. I'm going to be the first one to say I wasn't sold on it. I said that back when we used to have discussions. And then I seen him play last year. I'm not even talking about this year. I seen him play last year behind that abysmal offensive line. This one's still bad this year, by the way.
Yeah, he was sacked the second most times in the NFL.
Yeah, but last year he was like running away with it before his ACL got blown because of bad blocking.
Yep.
And he showed something to me last year. And I kind of liked it too. That's the reason why we were on board. I was on board with them going on the cusp of going up to the shot of going up to first. I mean, I felt like they needed a lot of stuff to happen for that to happen, but I think they had just as good a shot as anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm a Burrow fan. Sold. No more.
We're going to see a lot more of this. Now, no disrespect to Jamar Chase because he's a stud.
Yeah.
But we're going to see a lot more quarterback-receiver combos from college playing together in the NFL, because we saw that in Miami and different places, right? The connection's there, and it helps so much.
Right, you don't have to build that.
Enjoy this,
mesh, the chemistry, right? That you spend so much time in the off season trying to get right. You don't have to build and work on that because it's already there.
Exactly, and then so it's a combo of that and his attitude. He does not get flustered.
No.
He was sacked that much in the league this year, and you never heard him bitch. You never heard him say shit. He was just like, well, I am what I am. We are what we are. We're a great team. And the team feeds off of that, right? Yep. That's just like I don't want to compare the two, but Tom Brady, right? That's a big reason they won the Super Bowl last year is because he told them, we're going to win the Super Bowl this year, and everybody's like, fucking we are.
And he kept texting them.
Yeah.
During Joe Burrow was like, first off, would make no excuses. He would just go out and do his thing, but he believed in everyone in front of him, and they believe in him. Like when he's already getting it a year and a quarter, a year and a half in, he's already getting that feel from whoever his teammates are that we always have a shot. We have Joe Burrow on the sideline. Let's play for him, like as in the defense. We make a stop here, Joe Burrow will bring us back. We just need to do our job right now. Yeah. We might have been doing it earlier in the game, but let's do it now, and he can bring us back.
Yeah.
Yep.
He already has that feel about him, right?
And that takes a special quarterback. To be honest, I don't hear a lot of that from the Vikings, for example, right?
Right.
Let's get a stop. We got Kirk. We're going to be fine.
This year a little bit. But yes, I agree with you.
Right? But it's not the same.
It's not the feel you get at all. You're not thinking even us as Vikings fans. We're not going to sit here and I'm not going to try to blow smoke up your ass, and I'm going to think, hey, just make a stop. Kirk Cousins will get us down there. Every time it's on him, I'm thinking that he's going to hold the ball too long, make the wrong play, throw an interception, or get sacked.
Right.
So it doesn't have the feel. So I agree with you 1,000%.
Yeah, and that's somebody that's been in the league for a long time, right?
I even have a little bit more of a feel of that for your guy Dak. That I feel like if you give him a shot, a swinger's chance, we still have a shot at the end of the day. So,
yeah, 100%.
And but Burrow has that swag already, and I love it.
Yeah,
just love it. You're not gonna. I don't think this is gonna be like 1 year wonder. They could end up dealing with a salary cap issue when you got to pay both of those stud receivers because T Higgins and are stud Jamar Chase. Tyler Boyd's a damn good slot receiver, but I'm talking about those two guys on the outside edge that are ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
So. Jets offensive lineman Cameron Clark, who missed the season after suffering a spinal cord injury in training camp, is ending his football career with a fear of paralysis.
That's a shame. But hopefully he capitalized on a little bit of that money and can, do something with it. It's always a shame you make the league and can't ever really go to your full potential. Because, people that make it to the NFL, it's already a small percentage anyways. So to get there and then something like that happen and prevent you from playing that's a bummer deal.
No.
Yeah, it's definitely scary, but I get it. You're like, we're talking about my life here versus playing in the NFL, which, to your point, the NFL is a very rare thing anyway. But, damn, it's too bad. Hopefully you can still be successful. So
yeah.
This next news segment is brought to you by, unofficially, Michelob Golden Light.
Delicious.
Do a butt checker right here on camera?
Yeah. All right, Danny.
Let's do it. Danny, you're up. I'll hold the beer.
I don't think so.
Have you watched that movie yet?
No.
You have not watched
Wait,
that?
which movie are we talking
Blockers?
about? No, I don't. No.
He's missing out.
Educate this motherfucker.
I know. We need to get him growed up.
Blockers.
Blockers. Well, technically, it was called cock blockers, right?
Yeah.
But they took that word out. Now it has a chicken and it says blockers.
Yeah.
So you put together what you want. It has John Cena in it. It has that one chick, Leslie Mann.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is funny.
I'm sure it's funny.
I like
it.
Yeah. NCAA earns $1.15 billion in 2021 revenue as it returns back to normal.
Yep.
Guess that's what happens when you just start letting people come play, watch, and start paying for tickets, right?
That's right.
And you don't have to pay the players.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Somebody is, though.
Yeah.
Somebody is.
Yeah.
Legally. All
Yeah.
legal now.
So
All
win-win.
legal. For now, dude.
Win-win for them, but
There's no way they don't shut some of this stuff down.
eventually.
Even Lincoln Riley even said it. He's like, and he's getting nothing but transfer portal guys all over the place, right? He's like, this is the most wide open it's going to get. They're going to slam this guardrail shut real quick.
As they should, but
for the transfer portal. So, start leading to that. Hey,
I was going to say,
you like that
that's a nice
segue?
transition,
You like
yeah.
that segue? Star quarterback Caleb Williams is transferring to USC. The former Oklahoma quarterback announced Tuesday. The move reunites Williams with first-year USC head coach Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
Not
Funny, it took
I'm
a
not
while for
surprised,
him to
but I'm
pick.
surprised.
It took a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what surprised me the most. Like, you would think he'd, boom, go right away. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. Maybe he was waiting on Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart, just a few days ago, committed to Ole Miss.
Okay.
Maybe it was up in the air if he'd go back or not.
Yep.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to be interested because I've thought a lot about what you said about how he played last year, and numbers look good and stuff, but didn't seem that great when you actually watched it.
Yeah.
They've got some studs in the waiting there at USC to play quarterback.
And obviously
I
he had
could
no
see
problem.
another-
And obviously had no problem pulling his sophomore quarterback the next year after a spectacular freshman year too.
Yeah, I could see another transfer portal move here after this year.
Right. This
out of
might
him.
not be his last one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why you want to. I'm telling you, I still do not get this. Why you don't go to a big time university still? Because everyone, especially in one of the Power 5, is still a big time university, regardless.
Yeah.
Right? Why you wouldn't go to one of the other ones that are already pretty damn competitive and you are the man, right? Like, of course, I'm going to go ahead and you already know where I'm going. But the Hawkeyes, for instance. But that's the for instance. There are plenty of universities that were hanging right in there. Maybe they were missing a, great quarterback play versus decent quarterback play.
Yeah, I mean, that's why Thompson went to Nebraska, right?
Yeah.
So
why wouldn't you go down to Miami? Or not Miami, sorry. Like Florida, for instance.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you go to Florida? They were hanging there for a while.
Yeah.
I think they kind of stopped playing for the coach. I think there was some of that going on. And then they always have the, 4 or 5 star recruits coming down to Florida, too. You would have been the guy. I just don't understand why you go somewhere where they already have a couple 4 and 5 star quarterbacks sitting right behind you.
Yeah, it's
Right.
tough.
And Lincoln has already shown he doesn't care. He wants to win, and which is the point. I'm not trying to bust up on Lincoln on that one.
Yeah.
He should have pulled the plug on Spencer. Spencer was not playing well.
Not playing good at all.
At all. He was
Right
costing them, right? That was not the wrong move in any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
They were winning a few games in spite of his play, right? They won a couple close ones, even with shitty, with Rattler's shitty play. So
Yeah. Handful. Shit.
I'm just still, like I said, though, I'm still shocked that these guys, when they do, they don't just pick somewhere that is semi-competitive in one of the Power Five still and roll. You could take someone, and when you play for universities like that, you could either in his particular sense, you could bring Old Glory program back to stardom where it once was, back to the spotlight, or a university that isn't used to being there, and you could be the man forever, like you'll be a legend forever because you were that. I don't get why you wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
That's just me. I mean, believe me, I'll be preaching. I'll preach to my kids and everything. Hopefully I'm lucky enough and blessed enough and their hard work and that they're able to have that same problem one day. I hope they do.
Man, I would have taken the mill and destroyed every record at Western Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
Every record.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then gone to like a mediocre team, not a terrible NFL team. Been drafted in the middle, so it
so then you would have been on a decent team,
right? Yeah,
you might have still win number one. Like, hey, let's calm down. It isn't like it's
maybe, yeah.
These days, NFL or scouts are catching on to that in
they'll
basketball and football.
They'll find the talent.
They'll find the talent. I mean, they're still talking about a possibility that is it Jackson Malik, or is it Davis, the Liberty quarterback?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
There's a very open, wide range of what he can be.
Yep.
If you look at, because I'm starting to tap into the NFL draft stuff and stuff like that, right? And it's a very wide array. He has number one talent, they think, a high ceiling, but they think he has a very low floor. So, like, if it doesn't work, something like that, they're still looking at it, though. You can still get drafted in the top, definitely top 10.
Yeah.
Agreed. I don't think they worry about that as much anymore. I don't know why players worry about that.
Yeah.
Put yourself in the best spot to win. You don't think, what's his name, Schroeder Sanders, Deion's son, who was the quarterback for Jackson State, isn't going to get drafted?
Exactly.
That's all I'm getting at.
So I say that, but I'd still love to play in Southern California. That'd be much funner to play than Western Michigan. That'd probably be shitty.
Well, maybe, but I would get, in that case, I'd go to Florida, though. California.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And LA is a dirty ass city, like smog, and I don't know. I'd probably roll with, or go to Cal. If you want to be in California, let's go. What was that, NorCal? That's north. Let's go that way. Let's go Oregon, Arizona State. I would even go to Arizona.
Yeah.
There's a perfect one right there. You're still in a nice ass state. It's warm as shit. It's in the Power 5.
Yep.
And they're not used to having, unless you're talking about Big Dick Nick, they're not used to having quarterbacks there. So,
Talking about Richard? Big Richard?
Dick Banger. I don't know if you've ever seen that corny ass movie. God damn it. The one with the lottery. The two that marry each other. It's Demi Moore or not Demi Moore. God damn it. Cameron Diaz and our Iowa brethren, Ashton Kutcher. It's like, I can't remember the name.
It's a little bit older.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's
remember.
really good, but like her boss is like Richard Banger. He's like,
Yeah.
hold on, let me get this straight. Your name is Dick Banger.
Yes.
Tom Brady officially announces his retirement after a thrilling ride with the Buccaneers and Patriots. He was quoted in his Instagram at the end of he no longer wants to. How do you word that? He didn't say compete at the highest level. Train. I think it was like something like train at the highest level or something like that anymore. Like how much effort has to go into that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, he basically said, if I can't give 100%, I'm not going to play.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't think I can.
He's like, I don't want to anymore.
Yeah.
I think he said, I just don't want to anymore. And
Yep.
in that case, I know me and Danny are on the same page with this one. I was not a Brady guy at all. When he went to the Buccaneers and he won with a completely different coach, and he did what he did down there and he did change the culture down there. Like those players are basically the same as what were there the year before that, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When he did that, I grew the most, and it isn't like he's carrying what James Holder thinks, but he changed my belief in him. Like I actually like the guy now, I really do. Yeah. So I still think he isn't. I would still take Peyton Manning over him. I'm telling you that 100%. But he is definitely like right there 1A 1B to me now, like 100%. Like damn. So
yeah, congrats to him. Great career. Lots of good memories, especially if you were rooting for that team he was on. So.
Or even if you're rooting against them, and sometimes, like whenever you've seen Spygate and Bountygate and Deflategate, and you get a little like, like about time, damn you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's so good. It's hard.
So
I think that, I don't know. You and I were on the same page with that, right? We're big fans. We're like, listen, you've got the best coach ever, probably, right? Coaching for you. But in reality, when you look at it, it's probably the combo of the two that won everything, right? Then he goes to Tampa, wins one himself with a good team.
Yep.
But he changed everything about that team. It's tough because he led the league in passing yards, touchdowns, and everything, right? So it's like, damn, this is the year. But if you're gonna go out on your own terms. Don't be broken. You
still played at the highest level possible.
Yeah.
You were still in the MVP conversation. Actually, the MVP hasn't been named yet. You may still get it.
Yeah.
You're still on top. Just because you went out, just because you didn't win a Super Bowl, doesn't mean you didn't go out on top.
Did you see what Jalen Ramsey said?
Yeah. Yeah, and his tweet, he's like, damn.
His last touchdown was on me.
Was on me. Come on, bro.
That was so good. There were a lot of good tweets out of that.
An old boy threw the ball into the stands.
Yes.
Mike Evans, he tossed his last touchdown pass out in the stands. So
hold that shit.
Hold that shit.
Hold that shit.
Hold that shit.
Hold that shit. Don't get greedy about
how many years till they go to the Hall. As soon as he goes, that.
He's eligible. NFL always does this when legendary players go. I think what is it supposed to be, 5 or 7?
I thought it was 5.
I think it's 5 years.
Yeah, I think so too.
So he'd be eligible in 27, 26, 27.
Hold that ball until he goes to the Hall. And when he does, there you go. There's
him and Gronk
chunk
will
change.
go together.
Yeah.
Gronk's done too.
Oh yeah,
So.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Gronk
Gronk's
came back
done.
for one reason, dude. That's the reason why they made a joke of that.
Heck
Was
yeah,
that
dude.
T-Mobile commercial, or whatever it was? That was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I think the funny thing out of that was there was a bunch of tweets and stuff that came out after, right? I sent you guys one. It was Dave Portnoy was all pissed, right? Because he didn't mention anything about the Patriots.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'm thankful to Tampa and blah, blah, blah. He's like, I don't know to be offended or if there's a second part coming or what the hell's going on. And then I think it was today where I saw he's going to sign a one-day deal with New England.
Yeah, to retire a Patriot.
Yep, which is great.
He has
awesome.
too much. He has way too much love and respect for Robert Kraft that there's no way that wasn't going to happen.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
So, let me give you this then, okay? I'm going to give you my answer, and then you do yours, I guess. So,
Cheater.
What is your greatest legitimate, and it could be season long, it could be game, it could be whatever, okay? Your greatest Tom Brady memory. Now, mine is going to be, like, my number 2 is going to be the season they won the Super Bowl with the Buccaneers, okay? Because I think that was that's where I gained all the respect, right? Like I already alluded to. But my number 1 memory is the whole season.
With Randy Moss?
With Randy Moss. When they went 18-1. First off, I'm a Randy Moss fan, obviously, but he rejuvenated Randy Moss. He turned Tom Brady into legit Tom Brady, like where Tom Brady's throwing 40-plus touchdowns every year. And you've never seen a duo like that. Like they broke NFL records together once they touch a field.
It's a hard one to beat because you remember they're just going crazy.
Yeah. Right? And it was bonkers. I mean, throw it down there. And he gained confidence in Randy Moss like that. Like, he's like, one thing I gathered from watching game tape of Randy play, because I wanted him day one. I don't know if you ever seen that story where it was like Belichick or whoever hit him up and like, what would you think about Randy Moss? We have an opportunity possibly to trade for him. He's like, get him now. Well, after watching, he's like, I don't understand why these guys aren't throwing the ball almost every time to this man. I don't care if there's 6 guys on him. It's Randy Moss, and he's going to get it and come down with it if you give him a shot and put it in, semi-right spot, not just...
Yeah, he can outrun almost everybody.
And jump out of the building.
And if he can't, he can jump and get the ball. So,
right.
He's always open.
So that was my favorite moment, and that's taken all the Deflategate stuff and all that stuff out of it. I'm just talking about mine. So what was yours?
Pretty much, you hit it. I mean, it's going to be hard to overcome that 18-win season, right? Because just Randy Moss and record setting and going crazy and almost going undefeated. Hard to overcome that, besides going to a new team and doing, his thing. So you hit it right on the head, man. You can't forget that.
Yeah.
That one's awesome. They didn't win the Super Bowl, but that one was awesome. Okay? So what mine is it's more the story about him, in which I sort of mentioned it earlier, right? The text messages he sent to everybody on that team at Tampa saying, we're going to win the Super Bowl. We're going to win the Super Bowl. He sent it, every day, every week, whatever it was. And eventually it just instilled that confidence. Like, we're about to win the motherfucking Super Bowl. Like, let's go. And they did. So when you're at that level and you can just speak stuff into fruition and say, this is what's going to happen and get people's buy-in, God, you're on a different level, man. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think that's the biggest thing. Plus, obviously, he was able to go to a different team and do it. The combo of those,
a
I
huge
think.
deal,
yeah. So, but God, the Randy Moss season was so fun to watch.
Yeah.
One small one before I move on, okay? Maybe this is just me, and I could be 100% by myself on this one at this desk. I think the 18-1 season, yes, I laughed at the time that the Giants beat them, right? I still think that's better than the Dolphins 16, 17-0. They played more games, and they won more games in a row than you did in the same season.
Yeah,
so
especially
I still believe in that. Just because you lost the Super Bowl, you had to play more games during the regular season.
Yeah. Especially if you go back, because they won however many. Because didn't they win the Super Bowl the year before as well? The Patriots, right?
Yeah.
So they won X amount of games before that, regular season included, and then won 18. It's like
I still think that even
tough,
that
dude.
one season was like everyone that like when the Dolphins crack a bottle at the end of every year after the last winning or last team
undefeated.
that doesn't undefeated team actually loses. They do that every single year. That Dolphins team, whoever's living left, cracks a bottle and has champagne. You should not have cracked that bottle that season because honestly they beat you out just because they didn't win the Super Bowl. They played way more games than you. They played 2 more games.
I'm still cracking that bottle, but
by technicality, but that is the most uncomfortable crack of that bottle and drinking of that glass that I would have by far. It isn't like I'd be full blown in mine. I was like, you know what, gentlemen, we're lucky we played 2 less games that season.
I guess, but man, that Giants team was the one team in the NFL that was going to beat them.
I think the Niners could have too. I really do because
that defensive line was sick, man.
And that's what I'm getting at. The Niners had that too with Alex Smith. That's the reason why they were there.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying maybe they wouldn't have because they may not have had the corners to cover Randy and shit. So, we'll move on. NFL awards $1 million for studies on cannabinoids effects on pain management in players. Medical teams from the University of California, San Diego, and University of Regina in Canada were selected from 106 proposals initiated by the NFL and the NFLPA's Joint Pain Management Committee in June 2021. So this is to see basically alternatives instead of pills and instead of shots.
Yeah.
And opioids and shit like that, something more medicinal.
Yeah. Good. It's going this route, better for your body instead of putting just who knows what in your body.
Painkillers.
Something more natural. And the players who do it, and aren't in the league because they do it are like, yeah, I'm, my pain level is way down because I'm doing this. I think we forget, watching the sport on the TV, how much pain and how much stuff they're going through and everything is hurting, and we don't really realize that and what they're going through. Especially, and then you add another game, right? So,
we played.
It's hard to as a fan to realize what they're going through.
So we played a little semi-pro, right? Not saying we were good, but we played, and when we did, and we're not world-class athletes, especially anymore by any stretch of the imagination, right? How much pain were you in when we were like,
oh yeah,
like that hurts. Now imagine doing that against world-class athletes every single down for, 17 games, not including playoffs.
Right.
I'm gonna take a different stance. Mike, fuck you, NFL. $1 million is what you awarded to that. Player safety is the biggest thing you talk about, right? And right now what you do is bullshit to them. You inject them with shit. You have them take opioids, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And we've known for how long? The reason you're using the California study is because they can do it because it's legal there, right? We've known that this shit helps and can be a comparison, especially with opioids and that.
Yep.
And we're going to award this $1 million to these different groups. That's a drop in the bucket for you. If player safety is the big deal, that you're going to throw more or you're going to get more studies done and put more money at it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the whole COVID thing.
So
happened,
they're not
right?
fully So I'm with you. I don't think they're. I think that's what you're getting at. They're not fully committing to it, but I think they're not fully committing to it. Obviously, they're not by the dollar amount.
Right.
So I agree with you. It's literally a drop in the bucket.
Right.
I don't think they're committing to that because they're still waiting for society to catch up. The rest of society, as in people's comfort with marijuana.
Society has caught up. Politics has not caught up.
Right. Well, yes and no. You still have plenty of people around that would look at someone and think they're just a pothead.
I agree.
Because
I agree with that, yeah.
So people stay secret about their lives. Yeah. You're not going to go out and have that conversation. Yeah. I'm not saying because it isn't like we do that, but my point is, even if you did, you couldn't have that conversation with somebody, even if it was legal in Iowa.
Right.
How many people do you see going out and having that conversation that I do this, that, and the other, unless they've been doing it their whole life anyways? Right. But you know what I'm getting at.
Because people would be like, oh,
because
he's just a pothead.
They look down on you. They say this, that, and the other.
Yep.
They still think of it as a drug at the end of the day.
How much of a change could the NFL make on that opinion of those pockets of people? If they said, listen, all these studies that we found, here's the deal.
They can't control it. That's the thing. Yeah. That is why they don't want it to happen, because they're hooking up their buddies who are also rich. It's always about the rich scratching the rich's back. Yeah. They can't control whether the player is buying the weed from this guy, this guy, this guy. They can't control if he needs a hard steroid or drug or something. Oh, here, go over here to that guy who I'm tied.
But you're spot on. You're totally spot on. And
about
that's my
that part.
point.
Yeah. And that's the money part.
And that's my point, right? They're doing this for credit to be like, oh, we're doing this.
Yeah,
we're doing this,
but you're not really doing it.
It's fucking.
No,
that's where I'm going.
No, but I still think that even if they wanted to, let's say, and I don't think they do. But I'm saying I don't know if they would fully want to invest in that quite yet, with the simple fact that I think they believe that they would lose plenty of fans with that if they fully commit to that.
Okay.
Because they've already opened up certain things that people don't pay attention to, like they don't get drug tested in the off season for that anymore. You're allowed to smoke. You're allowed to smoke marijuana from the end of your NFL season until a certain day. It's March or not March. Sorry. Whenever they show up for camps. So they already made a huge gain in that. That's the reason why they kind of got bent over in that last collective bargaining, because they seen, hey, you're allowed to smoke in the off season. So a lot of people, yep, sign that. But they still don't believe. If they believed that everyone would be on board like they should, like they believe they should be, let's say they do believe in it, but they're like, I think they're more worried about the other way, because there's a way that you can get your money out of that too. There really is for them. They can invest money into the major pot companies and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I think it's more they're worried about because there's still plenty of an older generation that still thinks that. There's still even younger generations that look at it and think of it as a pure bad drug.
Yeah,
that thought process is there, unfortunately. So
I don't disagree.
I know you don't.
But if you're looking, what my point is, player safety.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking at that, You don't worry about the other shit.
They always, I know,
Right?
but they always worry about the shield, number one,
Right.
and the thought of the shield,
Yeah.
and what people think of the shield.
That's why I don't think it means shit.
No.
That's my point.
No, neither do I. It's a drop in the bucket. I think it's more like exactly what I'm doing right now.
Right.
I'm reading it for them. I'm telling them what they're doing, but if it's $1 million, that's chump change.
100%.
Chump change.
Yeah.
Hell, I think Calvin Johnson's giving more money towards it than hell, it was in his speech.
Oh yeah.
The Buffalo Bills have promoted quarterbacks coach and passing game coordinator Ken Dorsey to their offensive coordinator position after old Brian Dabble left. This is obviously, I didn't see this when it originally happened, but evidently Josh Allen was a huge proponent to him getting bumped up. So,
Yep.
Gets to keep his guy.
Yep.
Try to keep the
Familiar.
rhythm. Let's see what we got. Vanessa Bryant, the widow of late great Kobe Bryant, will be honored at the 3rd annual Sports Power Brunch, celebrating the most powerful women in sports on February 8th in Beverly Hills, California. She will receive the Be Our Own Champion Award for her leadership through the Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation.
Hell yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
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 A little shout out to her. Nice lady.
Should he be the new logo?
No. Let's not get too emotionally wrapped on it, no. If you're going to change the logo, then you're going to go to Jordan.
I agree with that.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you're going to do
He's
that,
still alive. That's probably the problem, right?
Jerry West is still alive. Jerry West is the logo, bro.
Yeah, that wasn't very well thought through.
No.
Forgot about that. Forgot he's still here. All right.
But
touche.
yeah, dude.
Touche.
If you're gonna do it, like if you don't get too emotionally involved, and like I gained a lot of respect for Kobe. Remember, I told you that the last season he played, I'm like, God damn, I hated him for so long, this, that, and the other. And then his last season, to me, I was like, God damn, I'm watching a legend. I took for granted watching a legend during his playing career because I didn't like him.
Thought he's a ball hog in that, right?
Yeah, this,
Like,
that, and the
yeah.
other, and then you shooed Shaq away.
Yeah.
You know, this, that, and the other, right? So it took till his last year. I'm like, God damn, I'm watching a living legend that would do this, that, and the other, and do anything to not support his fans, but try to bring the best show he can to Chris, who may be a fan, but only was able to make it to one game fucking ever, to a Lakers game, and made sure that he tried to give everything he had for that game. That's what he said, the reason why he played so hard, and he was being glued together with ice and bandages in between every timeout,
Yep.
right? So, no. And if you're going to do that, usually the consensus pick, best player of all time, is Michael Jordan. So that's what you'd have to do, in my opinion, then.
Yeah.
Either that or LeBron.
Probably right.
Either that or LeBron.
Probably right.
You can't do that.
Or
Too
Curry,
much. He
Curry
changed.
shooting a 3, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steph.
Steph. Hey, from a certified baller, he don't say that.
We didn't specify from deep. We should have said from deep. The collective bargaining meeting between the MLBPA and the MLB on Tuesday afternoon led to no significant progress. They do meet tomorrow. Almost guaranteeing a delay to spring training, while pitchers and catchers are scheduled to report to some camps as early as February 14th. Players and executives both anticipate the start of spring training will be postponed, which we kind of knew was going to come, right?
Yeah, it will be.
It was so far, it was too far away and everything for.
Yep.
Now you're trying to get it done before the season starts, the regular,
They're still a huge ways away, so I don't know, man.
with no budging. Even every single meeting you have, you're not budging on anything.
Right.
Angel star Shohei Ohtani will be on the cover of MLB The Show 22. Ohtani made history in the process, becoming the first Asian athlete to be featured on the cover of a video game in the United States centered around the 4 major sports. Ohtani also became the first member of the Angels to be featured on the cover of MLB The Show, which kind of surprised me. I guess I didn't
okay.
think about Mike Trout. I thought Mike Trout would have been, but
And Ichiro wasn't either? I thought he would have been too.
nope. So,
Okay, cool.
so the first thing I thought of, and I had to make sure I reread it when I was doing it, I was like, what the hell? 4 major sports. I was like, hold on. Tigger, baby. Tiger Woods.
Yeah,
But it's not one of the 4 major sports. So.
Yeah.
that is correct.
Could be. Try to tell golfers that. Or tennis, badminton.
Fuck that shit.
Australian fighter Tai Tuivasa said his heavyweight bout with Derek Lewis is a fantastic opportunity, even if he agreed to the UFC 271 showdown while pissed. Now, pissed in Australian actually means wasted or drunk. So he does not remember agreeing to this fight. He agreed to this, so it was like their promoters. It isn't Dana White. It's like he has someone else that goes and schedules fights and contacts them.
Yep.
There's like texts back and forth, and he didn't realize. He said, "Yeah, let's do it," or something like that. And then next day, he had 1 million text messages from like his own trainer and his own promoter or whatever you want to call it, and all that shit. And then this, and so he was wasted when he accepted it.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
So,
That's real.
dude,
Yeah.
wouldn't that just be an awesome fight? Just between a dude that eats his wife's ass whenever she's in town, and Derek Lewis, and this guy who's pissed drunk, and then the nut cup is gonna go way under. It's like, what would you throw your nut cup in the crowd for? With those, what was that? Those
NFTs.
NFTs.
Yeah.
Like, damn. The NWSL 2021 Rookie of the Year, 19-year-old Trinity Rodman, will become the highest paid player in league history after she signs an extension with the Washington Spirit. The 4-year deal is reportedly worth $1.1 million. Rodman is the daughter of NBA Hall of Famer Dennis Rodman and the youngest player to be drafted in the history of the NWSL.
That is crazy to think about the number, right? Because 1.1, that's the highest ever. And you think about...
Can I give you a context quick? I didn't put this in there.
Yeah, go
Let
ahead.
me give you something. When she was drafted, she signed a 4-year deal, which obviously isn't up yet. She signed a 4-year deal worth $42,000 per year with housing and stuff like that, on there. But $42,000 to $1.1 million divided by 4 years. But what is that? A little over $250,000 a year from $42,000 plus some housing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
that's
kidding.
awesome.
Big time.
That's awesome, moving the needle, right?
It is moving the needle. Everybody complains about, women's pay in sports and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, but 100% I agree, but you're not also in the stands fucking watching them.
Right.
If you want them to get paid more, go fucking sit in the stands and watch them.
Absolutely.
Because
Support them.
Exactly. It's the support. They need the support.
They need to bring in the revenue.
Exactly. And people don't get that.
And they don't understand that. They just think you're just supposed to.
Yeah, write these big-ass checks.
Right.
You can't do that. You got to you got to sell the tickets, make the money before you can start paying the players. So if you are that person that are bitching about them getting paid, go sit in the stands.
Go sit in the stand, pay for something, pay for a jersey.
Yeah, exactly.
Buy a team cup, whatever you
I agree.
Pitch.
I agree. The number is crazy, but I also don't go sit and watch in the stands, But if you are that person that, they're underpaid, yes, absolutely. Also, go sit in the stands, buy a jersey, support.
Watch the game on TV.
Every game, yeah.
Watch a game on TV.
Because that's what they need.
That's what they need. So that jacks up how much the TV contract comes up,
Yeah, buy some of those hot dogs with Fruit Loops on them. Or
Heck
whatever,
yeah, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, get out there.
No, but absolutely. That.
It's one step, right? $1 million. It's the first one. We're gonna see some more.
Oh, yeah,
So,
definitely.
Let's go.
Dennis Rodman's daughter. And she does kind of look like him, too. I've seen a picture. Not, horrendously like it, but you can definitely see some early Dennis Rodman, when he was with the Pistons.
Definitely.
So, and that is what I got, gentlemen. I'll give you my weird law of the episode.
Let's go.
It is illegal to reincarnate without permission in China.
How do you control that? That's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
That is. So, do you know what reincarnate is, Danny? I'm sure you do, but if you do, go ahead and say what it is.
Yeah, so if you die and then you come back, basically, that's what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tibetan Buddhist monks are not allowed to reincarnate after they die unless they have been granted permission from the government.
How they control that shit?
We're not sure, and that's exactly what it says right here. We're not sure how they enforce this, but China is known for having some strict laws.
Putting the clamps on the good shit, damn it.
Don't get caught being reincarnated.
Hell no, man.
That probably has something to do with they have a limit on how many guys versus girls in China, right? It's got to have something to do with that. But damn, that would be tough. You're about to
come
die.
back? Hold on. Can you come back as a boy? No, it's 2022. You can do anything you want, right?
Anything you want.
You can come back, but you got to grow a penis.
What? Come on. And that's the line.
That is.
Man, real. So I have a question for you. I talked to Jimmer about this before the episode.
Yeah.
And so did you see that video of what the hell's the LSU's coach name, the football coach?
Yes, and the dude signed with Alabama.
Yeah.
So it got like 8 million views or something.
Yeah, so he's
like
dancing with him, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, fuck. This must be a big name player,
Yeah,
right?
yep.
Do you know anything about this player? Yeah. So he ended up going to Bama, and they're like, oh, he totally got fucked over because 8 million views and everything. He was the 32nd ranked tight end in the country.
And you got Brian Kelly doing this shit.
Brian Kelly's like,
What?
Eyes over like this.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's just breaking it down, man.
Yeah. 32nd ranked tight end for that.
So Danny wants to talk about that. I want to talk about what the fuck is going on with Brian Kelly. Like seriously, somebody, maybe it's COVID. You know, some people are going through depression, right? Or whatever's going on because of the pandemic. Somebody needs to go check this dude's mental status. You're out there changing your goddamn accent 2 seconds into coming down to LSU.
He's trying to get invited. He's trying to get invited to the barbecue, man.
Right, trying to get invited to the barbecue. He's down there like doing dances and shit. I think he did it with 2 recruits now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what is going on? At no point have you ever heard, you know what, I really picked LSU because my coach danced with me on a video clip. That is...
No.
What the fuck is going on? It's so awkward. It is so awkward.
Right.
It's so awkward to watch.
It is.
It took me forever. So I seen that a couple days ago, that first dance video. It took me at least 2 days to actually like stomach myself because you can see the still of it.
Yeah.
To stomach myself to hit the play button.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It did. I'm like, oh my god, and it's as awkward as you would suspect it to be.
Yes, it was.
No, my favorite thing about it is this is the 32nd ranked tight
end.
32nd ranked tight end.
And then Alabama
And
just
Nick Saban comes in and takes. He had no business taking that man.
he was and
He
he
for
didn't
sure
want
was
to.
just like, I want him. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
he's
take
You
probably
can do
like,
what you
he's
want.
probably like, what the fuck is this? I'm about to take him.
no more of this.
I'm
shit,
gonna save
Brian
you
Kelly.
from the embarrassment there, kid, and I'll just bring you over here. Don't need you.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no chance you're gonna touch the field in any way, shape, or form
Yeah.
unless you're doing special teams.
Yeah, for at least 3.5 years, right? Like,
If at all.
maybe
32
maybe if
ranked.
somebody gets hurt.
The
you
32
know.
ranked tight end. If we
I
had
know.
one other thing,
I think
know,
their
man.
tight end did transfer, so they maybe needed one.
they didn't get anything higher than the 32nd ranked one. Alabama.
I'm telling you, dude. That's what was crazy to me. I was like, this is kind of a fucked up video. but
You are correct.
Wait a
Though.
minute.
Their tight end did transfer. Remember? Yeah, I agreed. Yep.
And he's a 3-star tight end as well.
Oh,
What kind of
yeah.
3-star does Bama go for?
I'm
Not any.
about to look them up and see. I think they like tossed a bone to like a couple guys one time. I was like, who the hell is that? I think they're when you see them go way below their bottom like that, like 2-star or some weird like that, it is literally because their alumni was the dad or something.
Yeah.
That's what you find out. You find out an ex-player, a legend, is kid. It's something like that. And so
I bet.
more times than not. I'm not saying this one is. I have no idea.
be,
I think this
yeah.
is what you're getting at.
Yeah.
I think this is like you're doing all this. All right, I'll pull it out and just drop it right on the
Just
table.
put it on the table.
I'm Bam. I can take literally whoever I want from you.
Yep.
Nobody takes you serious, Brian Kelly.
That's true.
So, okay, I'll build off that for a second. Is LSU borderline regretting their decision right now with how weird he's being?
No.
They're probably the ones setting up all this crazy shit.
They
you
probably
know?
are, yeah.
Like, you're from the
Absolutely.
Bayou now, right?
Right.
All right. Rio, up to you, playa.
All right. Let's get through these here. All right. Rio's Randoms brought to you by Bo's Power Washing out of Belmont, Iowa. Hit him up for any of your cleaning needs, grass cutting needs, snow plowing. He does it all. Great guy.
Yes.
All right. First up, do you have a story about your worst roommate or house guest?
There's so many.
I do have a pretty bad story about a house guest.
Go ahead.
Are we kidding right now? Is it him?
First of all, I think he knows exactly what it is.
I know exactly where he's. If he go somewhere else, I'm gonna be shocked.
Well, so the one that comes to the top of my head, I've told you about this apartment when I was 17 I lived in, and Jimmer cut his hand, right?
Yes.
So when he was, God, he would have been like 15 years old, 16 at the time, right? He'd come in, and, he was young, but he maybe he enjoyed cigarettes, right? And so he'd come in once in a while and ask people that were there, I don't know who, at the time, but he would ask somebody, be like, hey, can you give me smokes, right? And he'd be like, all right. So somebody would get him cigarettes, and he'd come back. There was one particular day.
They were not for me. They were for another person.
Right. He actually had some older girlfriends at the time, so it was probably that, right?
Yeah.
But
and they were 18.
Yeah, they might have been older. I think some of them buy you booze, actually. So if you think about it. Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah. But no, so Jimmer comes over one day, right? And I'm like playing, back in the day, it was PlayStation or something, right? And he's like, hey,
I think I know the game you were playing.
I don't know which one.
It was, what was that old, it's not racing game, but it had like the Flamer Clown on it.
Oh shit, Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal. I'm pretty sure you were playing Twisted Metal with somebody.
Yeah. So he comes in and he wants to get some cigarettes for his girlfriend or whatever. And so I'm like, yeah, no big deal, whatever. And so one of the people there goes over, gets some smokes, comes back. Jimmer goes in, meanwhile, takes a shit. And the people give him cigarettes and he fucking leaves. He's just straight up out. He's like, I'm out. And we're like, wait a minute. Did you just come in and take a shit, get cigarettes, and fucking leave the house?
What the hell?
And we're like, what is going on here? And yeah, that's legit what he did, man. He just came over, fucking did that, and bailed. And we're like, all right, I'll plunge this shit for you. I'll take care of this. Like, what
you
is
clogged the
going on?
toilet up on his ass,
dude. It
was a clog, but
by far the worst house guest.
It was probably the most disgusting thing because like he had really small apartments.
It was
fucked
pretty
up.
small, dude.
And dude, it smelled really bad.
Oh my god!
And I didn't realize it. I'm like, oh man, this sucks. But
he's like, I gotta go.
I gotta go.
You know it's bad when they come out coughing.
Minus his kitchen. His bathroom, bedroom, and living room were probably all combined the size of this garage right here.
Yeah,
that we are in.
Right. Yeah.
You add the kitchen, then it's probably maybe double, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
The kitchen.
The kitchen
was
the biggest part. Yeah,
oh yeah,
for
by
sure.
far.
Yeah. What about you, Jimmer?
That's kind of fucked up. That you.
Hold on. Where'd you think I was going if that wasn't it?
No, I was.
Oh, we'll talk about that
I was
later.
gonna deny this one.
Okay.
I was just gonna deny this one. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, interesting.
You can go a few different routes here. I would have to say, worst roommate. We won't drop a name.
Fucking nerd.
Richard.
No, they were just the epitome. This person was living with us for a while. Try to help the person out. Job, the whole works. Made sure the person was getting up for work. Mess everywhere. Lived like a single person did. Mess everywhere. Clothes everywhere. Leave shavings in the... Like, obviously, you see how long it took me to do this. Yeah. I didn't have to shave at that age. Like, because when we were moved out on our own. It didn't grow in. So this beard hair is all up in the sink. And, of course, my lovely now wife would get pissed because it is nasty. There's stuff everywhere. Nothing's ever picked up. Nothing's ever clean. There's dishes everywhere. And I'm the one getting yelled at.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not even the one doing it. So that just a generic, not as funny. It was really annoying. It turned very ugly one particular morning where that person might have gotten slammed into the couch. But
okay.
If you want that part of it.
All right.
What do you got?
So when I was in college, I had these roommates and they were living with me, and so school ended, right? But we were all staying there for the summer, right? And or at least that's what I thought. And I go on a trip, and I'm like, hey, the electricity bill, I think it was, is due when I'm gone. I left my part of the money for it on the counter. Y'all just take it up there and pay it at City Hall and whatever. And then here's my rent money as well. So just add to it and go pay rent and stuff. Mm-hmm. So we went on my trip or whatever, come back. electricity's off.
Yeah.
Electricity's off. They're moved the fuck out. I got the landlord notes on the door going, hey, where the
Holy
fuck is rent
shit,
money?
dude.
They straight up fucking took the electricity money I had left, which was, I don't know. Well,
Yeah,
like I
that's
said, we split it.
party money, baby.
We split it up 3 ways. My rent money, part of my rent money left. Moved everything the fuck out of both their rooms. Fucking just out, gone.
Okay, you
They
can't leave
never
us
come.
there.
They never come back to school either. So
Oh,
yeah,
Jesus.
they end up never coming back to the school either. So they were just
Did you
fucking
ever by
bounced.
chance ever look them up?
Yeah.
Did you ever find them? Or
No.
anything?
Fuck no.
So they're not on Facebook or anything?
Oh yeah, they are, but they're not around here anymore.
You didn't shoot them a shot like, hey.
Yeah, I did back then. I was fucking like, hey, what the fuck?
Did they
Like,
send anything?
no. Fuck no. So they had cleaned up everything too and backed up all the trash and took it down and threw it in the basement.
I hope that. Dude,
so it
I
was
hope-
just
I hope
fucking
they're
horrible.
listening right now.
It was like, what the fuck? Yeah, so that was cool to come back to, right? I come
That
back
sucks,
from
but
vacation.
it's-
I'm like, hell yeah, we're rocking. And then all that shit. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
I'd be pissed.
I was not happy.
That's awesome, but not awesome.
Yeah.
Terrible.
It's awesome
man.
now. That would have
Yes.
sucked. I would have been pissed.
Well, I was so
might
fucking
have.
pissed.
I might have went
I was
headhunting.
I was cussing right and left.
Yeah.
I did kind of get a small laugh. I took the trash that they had and went and dumped it in the road somewhere, and they had all their fucking. They had cleaned up their rooms and stuff, and I guess they had mail in there with their names, and so fucking.
Yeah.
So they should. I do believe if the cop actually takes the time and picks it up and they
Yep.
see mail
They
with your
did.
name on it,
Yep.
they send you a ticket.
Yep, they did. Well, they got a hold of him, I guess, because one of the guys ended up like, "Hey, what happened to that trash in there, or whatever?"
Oh, he actually caught. He
Yeah,
messaged you back on
yeah,
that.
Yeah, on that. And I was like, I don't know, it's crazy, crazy world. Lots of things happen.
Lots of things.
I'm like,
happen.
I don't know, probably the same place where my rent and electric money.
No
went.
shit, motherfuckers.
Don't worry about where the fuck it went.
So yeah, that
With
was
all due
tough.
respect, I'm not an angry person.
All right, next up, would you rather be the best player on a bad team or the worst player sitting on the bench on a great team?
This one is very difficult. So if the only thought process when you said that of being my instinct would be the worst player on the best team because I want to be a part of a winning team and culture, right? But when you're the worst player on the best team, you're interchangeable. You could be cut. You could be whatever. If you're the best player on the team, they're not getting rid of you, right? And maybe if you keep the motivation up, you'll at least have a damn good time. So I'm going to go with best player on the worst team. Just out of fear of getting cut.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
I want to be the best player too because, you're going to get the most looks. Say you're in the high school level or college, right? You're going to get the most looks, people looking at you, watching you, all this kind of stuff. The attention, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the NBA, right, you're building for that next big ass contract, right? So
You're still going to get paid.
yeah, you're going to
Because
get
they're going
paid.
to think that you can be that player
Right.
or better or
Exactly.
whatever. Contribute.
Yeah, agreed. Best player, worst team for sure. It's only good things. You could potentially make that team better. If you're the worst player, it's like how much impact do you really have?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how good that team
Well,
is. But
right.
but
You're not. You're just sitting there.
The only thing that deters
Rings,
me,
maybe.
I'm being serious. The only thing that deters me, unless you're telling me there's no way that I can get traded or cut, I would actually go that route then.
Yeah.
But that means you're expendable by far if you're the worst player on the team. So I don't want to. How long would I be on that best team anyway?
Right.
Might as well at least be able to play, I guess.
Yeah, but even let's say it's the NBA. You got 5 rings. You did nothing to contribute, but you have 5 rings. What does that matter, right?
bling, motherfucker.
You got
Yeah,
some
How many
sort of,
points
but-
you?
You
I
got sort
average.
of, but on a personal level.
Average
You
two
got
and a
some- On a
half.
personal level,
You got
right?
some. You got some playing time
I'm not. Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah.
Are you thinking like what is that? God damn it! The
Cry on top
Will,
of all my bling.
the Will Ferrell movie, the basketball one.
Oh.
Chuck- The name of the name of the
yeah.
team was the Tropics.
Yep.
But the dude that came was Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson has a championship ring, but he actually came off the bench, so it didn't mean as much. So I get what you're.
Yeah.
They're making fun of you. It wouldn't mean as much. I got you.
Yep. All right. Next up, weirdest thing you have ever eaten. Stepmom's box.
What the fuck? No, you are nasty. Gross. That is so
Danny's told me some stories.
Danny's a
Semi-pro. Semi-pro.
Semi-pro.
Yes.
It bugged you enough too?
Yeah, I had
it
to
bugged
look
me.
at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll defer to Danny on this one.
Okay.
I'll let him go first.
Danny, go ahead.
The nastiest thing you've ever eaten?
Weirdest thing you've ever eaten.
Okay.
That'd have to be nasty.
Man, maybe like live squid or something. I think would be probably the weirdest thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say
You
squid's
ate-
mine.
you ate some?
So I ate squid in Hawaii. That was weird.
I couldn't do
Yeah.
it. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. And I think live like octopus. I think maybe that one because the stickies.
Yes.
Yeah, that shit's weird
Yes.
to chew on and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. I
And
think
it's
that's
just like
probably it.
rubber in your mouth, and
Yep.
it was mine too.
Yep.
Are you talking about what he left in your mouth?
Who's that?
I'm
I,
talking
don't know.
about you.
I was sleeping the whole time.
Yeah,
so I
so
don't
burnt rubber in your mouth. What? Left that condom?
What's going on there?
I don't know.
Tastes
What,
like-
well, at
Rio.
least you
Tastes
know
like
what?
Tabasco.
Rio's talking about his roommates, and then all of a sudden he's talking about rubber in his mouth. I have
Tastes
no
like
idea.
hot sauce.
He
That's
would've
all I know.
Tastes like hot sauce.
Tastes like hot. At least
Right.
he's being safe.
He's being safe. No baby making here. Let's see. The weirdest or nastiest thing that I've eaten. God. And first off, I've tried raw fish. Anything raw fish. I won't eat raw fish. I've tried it one time. And that's all I need. That's the reason why I won't eat sushi. So if you want a plain generic one, it'd be sushi, I guess. But raw fish is actually the only reason. So if the fish is cooked, that's in the sushi, I will eat it. Everything else that's wrapped up in there, but that isn't the point of sushi. So,
Right.
so raw fish has got to be the answer, and that doesn't
Okay.
matter what kind. That could be squid, any part of that. And I haven't tried squid, but I have tried raw fish.
Okay.
Yeah.
So raw fish is the weirdest thing you've ever eaten.
Yeah,
Okay.
gross. I wouldn't say grossest.
It's gross.
so,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. And that's what I got.
There is a reason. So there is a reason why humankind's life expectancy like nearly doubled when they invented fire. Cook your meat. Should not be raw.
Brains got bigger too.
Yeah.
Yep. All of it.
Cook.
Okay.
Should not be raw. All right.
Would you ever eat a basically raw pork chop?
No.
Okay. I'll do makes sense if you don't think about it tonight then.
Okay.
I'll tell
Okay.
you the story, right? If you got something else before that, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that was actually in damn good movie if you haven't seen it on Netflix. Was that Red Notice?
Yeah.
Oh,
you know, it's at
yeah.
the very end.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, this what do you say? This cheese tastes really weird. This Gouda, that's raw pork.
Damn it. Yeah. That was a good movie.
Do we have any other things before we get to that though? I can't
No,
remember
that
any.
was the biggest. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Boom. So makes sense if you don't think about it. So I'm on a trip to Indianapolis at the time, right, for work. And for the dinner, we ended up going to this nice steakhouse, right? We didn't go to Peyton's Steakhouse. We tried, but that's hella different. The steakhouse he goes to is ridiculous. They would always treat his team to and that, right? Tried, couldn't do that, but we went to like 1B basically. So the super fancy place. We go in and everybody's getting steak, right? Some kind of filet, T-bone, New York, whatever. And they're like, all right, medium well, whatever. And one of the guys I work with, he actually works in Illinois is where he lives. He was talking about pork chops. He's obsessed with pork chops, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, have you ever gone to this place? Blah, blah, blah. Apparently they have like a double pork chop that you can get, which doesn't sound bad. It's basically
No.
two stacked. I'm like, all right, man, I can get behind that.
Hell yeah.
He's like, did you know that you can actually eat a medium or medium? So what's the other? I can't remember the one below medium, but anyways,
Medium rare.
medium rare pork chop. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want worms. So nope. I don't think you can do that. And he sat there. This is like 20 minutes while we're talking. And he's like, no, you can. The standards in all of the hog confinements are so good now, you don't have to worry about that. You can get it, it tastes so much better and everything like that. And I'm like, first of all, we're at a steakhouse. I don't know what you're doing, right? You're about to order chicken, basically. Like, what the fuck? That's not the purpose of going here.
Oh my
Right.
god, dude, I'm about to.
And
my
so
stomach's turning right now.
everybody orders, and he's literally the last guy to order. And he gets a pork chop medium rare. Medium rare. And everybody heard what everybody ordered, even though they were talking. But when he ordered, the whole fucking room got quiet.
What the
And
fuck?
everybody turns and they're like, excuse me? Like, what did you just do? So he ordered a medium rare pork chop,
Oh.
and they bring that shit out, and it is medium rare, man. It is fucking basically not cooked, right? Just a little bit on the outside. And I'm like,
no.
what are you doing? And so he's like, yeah, man, if you look it up, go ahead and Google it. Like, it's okay. You don't have to worry about that because the standards are so
Don't
good
care
and
what the
whatever.
standards are.
And I'm like, no, bro, I'm not going to chance getting worms or some crazy shit like that. But he ate that whole damn thing, medium rare, in front of everybody.
No.
Pork chop.
Oh, my God.
So,
Yuck.
words of wisdom, don't do that, okay? Don't ever get any kind of pork anything.
Don't ever
That's
not
not cooked.
cook your food
Thank you.
for the most part.
Especially.
Yeah, besides your bacon.
Especially,
Especially
you can
pigs.
get by with bacon.
that is part of a hog too, you dumbass.
Yeah.
God.
No, when you talk about the worms and all the other crap that
Pork
gets
chop,
in
that's
there,
crazy.
no. Oh my God.
Did you ever look this up though? Because
I did look it up. No matter where you look, the recommendations are like you cook that shit.
okay.
You still to this day.
Because
So
I
I'm
thought,
like,
well, I don't know if you, I don't know. The last time I checked, it isn't. So I'm not talking about like rare, medium rare, any of that bullshit. But it's okay to have that pink. It used to be that they didn't want you to even have that pink that's in
Yeah.
the center.
I probably could get away with a little bit of pink.
No,
you
which
know?
I have had. And I'm
Yeah.
not big into that. Like I want my pork cooked.
Yeah.
But that pink part, they used to suggest it. I'm not talking about like the smoking pink that happens. I'm talking about grilling it. And it does say that there's absolutely no problem with that. Maybe that's what he read and he misconfused that. Yeah, baby, cut that right off the
Get
ass
you
cheek
some.
and let's go ahead and buck.
Dude, I can't imagine. I like my steak medium-ish, right in that range.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool with that. It's fucking delicious. I can't even, like, I can barely say it, right? Like the
That's
pork
so
chop that
gross.
way.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's so gross.
Seeing it come out that way, dude, no.
Oh.
Nope. I think half of us could have left, like just walked out at that point. We were
Yeah,
like,
that's
what
nasty.
is going on
So that
here?
is what.
And a waste of going to a fucking steakhouse.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna. So let's
Nerd.
finish your sentence.
That's what I got, man.
well. What is it though?
What?
Makes sense.
No,
if you don't
yeah,
think
makes
about
sense if you don't think about it.
Yeah.
Don't do that shit.
Don't
Hell
do
no.
that shit. Number one. Number two. Let's touch on that for a half second. So, I agree and disagree with the steakhouse statement you just made. So, what you're saying is no matter what, you have to get a steak. Let's say you didn't even want to go to the steakhouse. You didn't feel like steak that night, but they make one hell of a delicious burger. That's what I'm getting at. Like, that's unexcusable to get a burger at a
I don't have a
steak-
problem with
No,
that,
no.
but
I'm guessing you're getting beef.
Yeah.
You're going to if I'm going to a
Yeah,
steakhouse,
exactly.
I'm getting beef.
right?
Okay.
Their specialty is beef. I'm getting something beef.
that's more
Gotcha.
exactly.
Yeah, that's
it
more what
is.
I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
You get like you go to a steakhouse and you get
Yeah.
fucking pork. What the hell?
So the lowest the meat can be is medium, and that is very like mine is probably be more medium well. It can be pink. It can have some blood or a little bit of that.
I like medium rare in my steaks.
Yeah, some people like that, and I can't. I can't do that, but I can do medium to medium well. I like that. I have this ongoing debate with Marv all the time.
Yes.
You don't want to eat your steak. It needs to be burnt. Blah, blah. I'm like, no. It just needs to. I don't want it. I don't want it pouring blood. I don't want to hear a moo when I cut into it. I don't want to see raw meat when I cut into the center of a steak. I'm sorry, that's goofy to me, but whatever. And he keeps going. I'm like, Marv, you are literally the guy. This is the reason why I say I agree and disagree. I'm like, literally, you are the guy that your wife takes you to a steakhouse, and every single time you go to a steakhouse, you order a burger. You never order a steak. You're going to judge me on how I want my steak made?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of our ongoings. Plus, he's one of the pickiest eaters I've ever met in my life, so for
Hold
a
on.
grown man.
Hold on. I want to call this out real quick. He's one of the pickiest eaters.
So are you,
and you
too.
call me a picky eater.
You are.
But the weirdest thing you've ever eaten
Raw fish.
is raw fish.
Yeah. He won't eat
That
fish.
seems
He won't
sketchy
eat
to
fish
me.
at all. I said I won't eat raw fish. I'll eat fish. I don't eat raw fish.
I thought you were gonna say tube steak at work, but
No, I would never do that.
That's not weird.
The weird,
That's
not weird to him.
Well, the weird thing about eating that is with my butt. Forcefully.
Touche.
It's called sodomy, like when you're just getting railed and bent over. There's a huge difference.
Still counts, right?
It's like I kissed him with my butt hole.
No doubt.
Inappropriate.
Right. Puckered up either way.
So we do have
nasty.
here coming up here real soon. We have a couple exciting things going on. We're trying to reach out to once we get Zoom going and all that. He's gonna try to reach out to one of his MMA fighters, right?
Yeah, one of my friends. Yeah.
That's looking to retire after his next fight, right?
Yep.
Then we also have our May 23rd? Does that sound right?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yep.
May 23rd weekend, the MMA fights in Mason City, Iowa. That'll be big time. I think that last time I seen, there was 7 professional fights on there. Is that what it was?
Yeah, so, right around 14, 16 fighters, yeah.
No, but I mean professional.
Yep,
Like
in that-
actual
yeah.
professional, like
Yep.
The certification.
Okay.
So
Heck yeah.
I think that's where. So we have a busy season here coming up that's gaining on us very quickly.
That's
It
for
may
sure.
seem like March, I'm sorry, that February that we have a long time. We really don't have that much time, and I got baseball season coming up too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wrestling's about to hit states and
Yeah,
tournaments. And
first round this weekend. So
there
yeah.
you go.
Let's go, baby. We also have hats coming in real soon.
We do finally. They are literally. So funny story. I got email confirmation there that they were shipped. You click the tracking number on it. And what's it say?
Label generated.
Label generated. It has not been taken to the shipping facility yet, but
Step one.
they are there, ladies and gentlemen. They are in the midst of being sent.
Let's go.
That's right. So we'll put some pictures up once we get some in, let you guys know what they look like.
Yeah.
These are high quality. So
They
these
are.
are really good hats. We're pretty proud of them. We think a lot of people will enjoy them as well.
Yep.
So any other parting notes, boys?
All of our
I think
other
so.
materials, T-shirts, stickers, you can get on our social, hit us up, show support. We already have been getting quite a bit of it, so we appreciate it. But every little bit does help.
Yeah, definitely. Shirts are starting to go like hotcakes, so let us know if you want a shirt, sticker, whatever the case is. The
Hat when they come in.
The hat, of
Yep.
course. The podcast is available where, Jimmer?
Everywhere you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Google, YouTube, and almost everywhere else in between. Facebook.
You're damn right. And we love it if you just shoot us a message. Let us know if you've got a story for it makes sense, things like that. Just hit us up in.
The DMs. It all goes down in the DMs. We'll get that message out there to everybody listening.
We have no shame.
That's right. And if
Yeah.
you don't want us to say your name, it's all good. We'll
Yeah.
just tell the story. We love telling
It's just
stories.
literally,
so-
hey, so and so, or say, just don't say the name. Literally tell us,
Doesn't
don't say the
matter.
name, and we'll keep it out for you.
You're damn right.
I'll substitute Danny's name in it, no matter what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, we can say my
If
name.
it's a sheep fucking incident, whatever.
TG.
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 No doubt. Well, hey, thanks everybody for listening. It's a cold night in Garner, Iowa. We're going to get out of here. This is 3 Gig Sports.
We out.
From nothing, no hindsight discussions. I've been writing, I love it. All this doubt around me, damn it, look, I